Have you ever given thought to the number of our food producers in this country that list an occupation other than farming as their main source of income? Well, if not, I've got some numbers that might get you thinking about that a little bit. Today is Monday, January 6th, and today's agricultural fact of the day is 72% of beginning farmers reported a primary occupation other than farming, compared to 58% of all producers, and the majority, 51% of those, worked off of the farm 200 days or more. I really don't think that people give this enough thought, but as you're walking through the grocery store going shopping or consuming your dinner tonight, just keep that in mind. Many of our food producers have another more lucrative job than producing your food. Again, we do these agricultural facts of the day in my introduction to agriculture class, which is mostly 9th graders, and my 8th grade ag and natural resources class. This provides us an opportunity to discuss things that may not otherwise be taught in a formal lesson. The beginning part of our discussion really focused on that 72% of beginning farmers having an occupation other than farming listed as their income. And we've already discussed in class about the exorbitant amount of funds you have to have in order to start an operation. It's a lot different than many other industries because you need so much capital or take out a lot of money in order to get started if you're not inheriting a farm. And farming succession, that's a conversation for a whole nother time, but when you're working with family and transitioning businesses, it gets a lot messier than many people believe. Anyway, back to that 72% of beginning farmers. In order to get funding, if you are seeking financing from a lending institution, the Farm Service Agency, Farm Credit, whatever those avenues are, you need to show that you are going to be responsible with this business, you know what you're doing, and that you have cash flow to begin with. Many beginning farmers don't have all the capital that they need when they first start, and it is a building process, and that building process takes many years. So by having another occupation that brings in money, although it's not ideal because it does heavily restrict you on the time that you can allocate to the farm, it helps to build up more capital without having to take out more loans. I always tell my students that I don't have to go to the casino to gamble because when I walk out back and check on my animals, you never know what you're going to find. So I feel like farming a lot of times is assessing situations and just hoping you're making the right choice. So by having additional income off the farm, you're also providing a little bit of a cushion in case things go bad. And in agriculture and farming, there's a lot of unpredictable things that can go bad, even if you do everything right. Somebody commented on my social media a month or two ago on one of my videos that I made, and something along the lines, if farmers were actually fairly compensated when you compare it to other industries and how pay has increased, even the service type of industries where you're doing labor, if farming had increased along those same lines, people wouldn't be able to afford to eat. And I do see truth in that. And it's just a very hard, fine line because those that are sustaining our population in making everybody else's day-to-day lives possible and the convenience of not having to produce your own food, where in the 1950s, everyone lived on a farm and they were responsible for producing their food and they preserved it, and all of that work and knowledge that was attained. And in this day and age, you can go into a grocery store and get whatever, whenever. I feel like many people just take that for granted. But anyway, that's today's agricultural fact of the day, and I hope you learned something.